2 times Angel Michael faced Satan. Number 1. The body of Moses. In Jude verse 9, an event is described that is not found anywhere else in the Bible. Michael had a struggle with Satan about the body of Moses, but what that entailed is not defined. Jude verse 9. But Michael the archangel, when he disputed with the devil and argued about the body of Moses, did not dare pronounce against him an abusive judgment, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." This event transpires in Jude. It is not unlikely that Satan wanted to know the spot so that he could have a shrine built there. Then Israel would turn to the idolatrous worship of Moses' bones. As the angelic representative of the people of Israel, Michael would strive to preserve the people from this form of idolatry by keeping the burial site secret. Moses was blocked from entering the Promised Land because of his disobedience at the waters of Meribah Kadesh. He led the Israelites to the very edge of Canaan and was given a glimpse of the land, but he was not allowed to enter it. Moses is the only individual in the Bible whom God personally buried. Did you know that? The Lord then hid the tomb. What drove him to do that? Because that grave would have been turned into a shrine. But the critical point is this: even if Michael is an archangel, he still did not presume to speak reproachfully to the one who rules in the realm of demons, and he left all such rebuking to God. Michael, the archangel, is represented in the Bible in Daniel, Jude, and Revelation texts as a fighter angel who contends in spiritual combat. The word archangel means angel of the highest rank. Most angels in the Bible are described as messengers, whereas Michael is represented in all 3 books as contending, resisting, or standing against evil spirits and principalities. Michael is the name of the archangel. That name implores the question: who is comparable to God? Michael is introduced to us by the prophet Daniel. Michael refused to render judgment presumptuously. Instead, he simply announced the Lord's rebuke. This rebuke uses language that is identical to that found in Zechariah chapter 3 verse 2, in which the Lord rebukes Satan for his accusations leveled against Joshua, who was the high priest. Despite the fact that he possesses a significant deal of authority, Michael continues to show total submission to the Lord. The righteous angels have a rank and are submissive to authority. When you consider how powerful Michael is, it makes the archangel's submission to God all the more stunning and wonderful. It is clear to see that the act of submitting oneself is never intended to strip an individual of their strength, purpose, or value. Even Michael the archangel did not fight the enemy on his own authority, but spoke in the Lord's name. Michael considered his office and position with reverence. Lucifer had been created as the highest creature. Before his fall, Satan seems to have had the most significant privileges ever accorded to a creature. Satan belongs to the cherub class of angelic beings, and these are probably of the greatest class and highest order, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. The expressions, "You had the seal of perfection," and "full of wisdom and perfect in beauty," indicate that he was the greatest of all creatures. The figurative language of this verse speaks of his exquisite perfection. Not only was he an anointed leader, but he was twice called a guardian, covering cherub. This could refer to his role as a guardian, an honor guard, and proclaimer of God's glorious presence and holiness. He seems to have been in the very presence of God, for he walked in the midst of the stones of fire. Whatever the plans of Satan, we know that it could not have been good. He steals, kills, and destroys. While these strategies do not appear to be subtle, Satan can make even stealing, killing, and destroying appear to be subtle. He has the power to steal God's word from the heart of anyone who hears it by asking, "Has God really said?" Number 2. The War in Heaven. War breaks out in heaven with Michael and his angels on one side, and the dragon and his angels on the other. This is in the middle of the tribulation. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And war broke out in heaven. Michael the archangel and his angels waging war with the dragon. The dragon and his angels fought. Revelation chapter 12, verses 8 and 9. But they were not strong enough and did not prevail, and there was no longer a place found for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, the age-old serpent who was called the devil and Satan. He who continually deceives and seduces the entire inhabited world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. The dragon is so totally defeated that he loses his position, and he and his minions are cast down to the earth. This is not his final fate, however. Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 to 3. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, holding the key of the abyss and a great chain in his hand. And he took hold of the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he threw him into the abyss and shut it and sealed it over him, so that he would not deceive the nations any longer, until the 1,000 years were completed. After these things he must be released for a short time. Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are also. And they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Notice John's report of him. The great dragon, that serpent of old, the devil, Satan, the one who deceives the whole world. After this aborted battle, Satan is then judged and tormented forever, together with the beast and the false prophet who were cast into the lake of fire at the beginning of the 1,000 years. Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom, dominion, reign of our God, and the authority of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our believing brothers and sisters has been thrown down at last. He who accuses them and keeps bringing charges of sinful behavior against them before our God day and night." The announcement continues. Persecuted believers overcame the evil one by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. In faithfulness to him, they sealed their testimony with their blood. Revelation chapter 12, verses 11 and 12. And they overcame and conquered him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their testimony. For they did not love their life and renounce their faith even when faced with death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them in the presence of God. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you in great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time remaining. The heavens can rejoice over the dragon's departure, but it is terrible news for the earth and the sea. The devil knows his time is short, and he is resolved to pour out his outrage as widely as possible. Christians who think spiritual warfare is an excellent subject to discuss but don't think it affects their lives daily may be vulnerable to spiritual defeat. Good soldiers of Jesus Christ know Satan roams the earth seeking those whom he may devour. We must be ready. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be of sober spirit. Be on the alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour.